All popular tourist sites share one fundamental challenge: the people. How do you get all those people through your site in the most efficient and entertaining way possible? But heritage tourism sites also have another big challenge to deal with. Despite some of the comparisons I may have made earlier, visiting these sites isn't like going to a theme park. If something breaks or if somebody messes something up, they can't just fix it or replace it. Different sites take different approaches to protecting the past. Museums, of course, have glass cases around their most valuable objects and signs everywhere that say that you shouldn't touch things. At the British Library, they use special lighting to preserve the inks and the parchment of the manuscripts, and they also turn the pages at scheduled intervals throughout the year. Stonehenge used to allow visitors inside the circle itself, but in the late 70s they had to stop that because all of the visitors caused a problem. There was vandalism and the soil was beginning to erode, so they had to put up barriers to keep people at a safe distance from the site. But perhaps the strangest thing that we saw was in the Tower of London, where you have this moving sidewalk that takes you past the crown jewels. I thought a reenactment of this might be helpful to illustrate what I'm talking about, but since I'm fresh out of crown jewels, you're just going to have this experience with one of my own collections. These protective measures raise some interesting and challenging questions about what it means to actually preserve the past. Whom are we preserving it for? For what kind of future? Is it more important for things to last forever, or for them to be used and experienced in a more tactile way? Things that are in a case may last forever, but they've also lost their original life and their original function. A wine vessel or a book that's kept behind glass is in many ways just a different object than the one it was originally. Many people would say that the internet has really helped in this regard. With all of those precious manuscripts at the British Library, you may not be able to touch them in person, but you can look at them on their digitized manuscript website. But is that any more of a real experience than to go and see it in person? Of course, none of these are new questions or new concerns. Walter Benjamin addressed all of these in his essay about the work of art in the age of mechanical reproduction. But this trip made me consider those questions in ways that I hadn't before. I have to say, I do think it's different to see the Beowulf manuscript in person than it is looking at it online. There is a kind of aura about it, and that's something that I didn't really expect. Of course, I wouldn't say that I have any answers, but I do think it's important to shed light on the ways that heritage tourism sites have to deal with these issues on a daily basis.